Boom! Live and direct on the Truman Show with the Honorable RAS Midas. Greetings, RAS Midas. How are you?
Greetings, Truman. Nice to be with you, and nice to be with the acquaintance on your show. That's the wonderful listeners.
Yeah,
I hope today we can really reason and share words of wise man and knowledge,
that,
understanding, overstanding, understanding. Wishing all of the people a happy new year in their own way.
yeah. It's like a bit mastermind class. I take all those hangout like we mastermind together because that's my ultimate goal probably in life is to master my mind. Like I want to have great feeling and control my emotional triggers and stuff. So you don't the emotion you show is not anger and depression and boredom and then all the low stuff. You want to have galactic emotional state. Boom,
Yes.
reach the stars.
Yes, my brother. As I
Yeah,
said, I'm not here to convince anyone or accept anything that I say. I'm just reasoning. And if my reasoning is acceptable to brothers and sisters in some way or the other, we can reason together, appreciate love each other comment, and let it be a blessing.
exactly. And I give thanks. It's like the fifth time I think we're together, and I every time I get with you, I learn, I grow because also I recognize the higher being in you than me. Come on, me, I am capable to put myself at the right level in life and see that Ras Midas is a great man, and I've done a lot, and no, that's why I admire. It's the fire, the yeah, and I can recognize the higher being for sure. So getting with you, I learn and I share. We share and learn, and like I don't come here with an ego and pretend to know anything other than really my emotional state. Like that's maybe the thing I can know very profoundly. But yes, sharing with you is always a great pleasure, a great vibe. And today we're gonna take this into a different route than we were the last time a bit. I
Yes?
want to talk to you about I think something that is basic, but it's not something that it's really a common practice because it's a bit common sense also, but common practice is not something that we're really conditioned to live, because it's a way of living, also being honest. And I put honesty, responsibleness, and sensitiveness. Why I say responsibleness and sensitiveness and honesty, because I think that's where I want to have your opinion on this after. I think that's where our focus, our laser focus should be. First of all, on being honest with our being, facing ourselves and being honest and, knowing that we have to evolve. Here, it's not just, you don't evolve much
Sorry.
watching TV. So, it's an evolve. You have to evolve. You have to unplug from the matrix at one point and evolve. Watching TV, it's like the matrix and all those stuff that is out there in the matrix, in the world, in Babylon, the matrix. We can call it many names. I think it's that to take away our sense of responsibility and honesty. So if we are honest, look at what we consume every day, and we can decipher what's good or not for us and be aware and conscious, then we can talk about consciousness after having going through those steps, which is honesty, taking responsibility, be more sensitive. So yes, and honesty is, like I said to you, it's owning up. The word own up, when we say own up, should be HONE, not OWN. So maybe you can tell me a bit more your experience with being honest, because at one point in your life you said, I got to be honest. I am something, I'm someone, that flesh, that body has been given to me for a reason. I got to activate what's inside. Your thing is your thing. It's expressing yourself in music. Me, I love to speak and produce the music and stuff like that and be a bit more in the background. But you chose to go and do your thing, in which is being honest with yourself also. It's bringing because RAS Midas could have stayed the RAS Midas before he was RAS Midas, because there was a period before you decide to be honest and face the fact that you were alive and you had to do something with your life. So, yeah, so what this has changed for you to be honest at one point in your life and be honest, because me, it had changed. It's changing every day also, because the more you go, the more honesty you have. Also, you don't have 100% honesty at start, but you have a notion of honesty, and then you develop on that notion, and at one point you just live that honesty. I think that's
Well,
when you own up.
well, as I was saying, I was brought up to know that honesty is the best of policy. And when you're honest, you have a virtuous policy. Honesty is the freedom of your conscience, your positive conscience. In the song Stand Up, Wise Up, there's part of the lyrics that say, let your conscience be your guide, and your high sight be a wise man. Because there's a inner high within us, which is our soul, or the beam of positivity that exists within us. Because the flesh is the house, but what live in the house is the real person. Because what you practice inside of you, that's how you're going to react outside of you. So if you practice the virtues of honesty, then you will deal with on the outside world with honesty. But if you practice this honesty within yourself, you're going to be dishonest outside of yourself. Because what a person thinketh or manifest within themselves, that's what they will put outside. But we are born into a system or environment where I would say a lot of what we brought up to learn was this honesty. And it's like you are living in a cloud of darkness mentally until you can come to the consciousness that what they are teaching you is either superstition or imagination, or in other words, lies. And you have to go through this tunnel, searching to find your way in a truthful manner, that you can understand, and overstand your part that you are going to take, or which one of the fruits from the tree you're prepared to eat. Whether you're going to prepare to eat the fruit of honesty, or you're going to eat the fruit of dishonesty. You know? And so, because when you're born as a child and you're growing up, you didn't know wrong from right, but as it is written, when I was a child, I do the things as a child, but when I become a man or a mature person, I do the things that is maturity, because you know the difference between honesty and dishonesty. So the more you're honest, and it's a hard struggle to come through the darkness of dishonesty, so you can learn. And whosoever is willing to learn, those are the people that will make the difference in their life, so that they can develop a free consciousness and let your conscience be your guide within your life.
Exact. Very important. Very great message. Yeah, yeah. I was like that at the back, at the back in front of you. You know, people don't see me, but the whole way I was like that. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, no, it's very important from child to maturity. Okay, stage to mature stage, which is I think past a certain age. I don't want put any number. I think it's past at a certain point you feel more mature, but there's has to be learning. Like you have to have the desire to learn because if not, there's not really much difference between adult of this world today that haven't learned anything from child to adulthood than the children. So at one point you have to wake the baby. You know, waking the baby inside is that desire to learn and evolve as a mature tree of life and give fruit to this earth. You know, we are here to leave fruit behind. Like maybe you need to be shake up a bit. Sometimes we need to shake the tree a bit to let the fruit fall. But some need to be shaken. Some the fruit will fall by itself. But some definitely some kind of fruit should come out of ourselves. Fruition. I like that word also. Fruition. But we were talking about honesty, and honesty is something very important because when we're honest, we start facing facts, okay? And facing facts is also very important in reaching that state of freedom, of personal freedom. Like they say, you want something to set you free, face facts. First of all, facing facts. And I think that in my experience, that was not the truth that really set me free because truth varies with the level of awareness. What was true for me 4 years ago is not the same thing. I don't feel the same today. So it varies with the level of awareness. But the most important thing, RAS MIDAS, I think I want you to extend on it also. It's the part that you don't know what you don't know. You know, when we assume to know a lot. When we don't know what we don't know, and you don't know if the earth is round unless is a sphere, unless you have traveled to space. You don't know. So you're just taking words from other people that told you it was a sphere or told you that this was this or this was that. But until I travel there, I will never know. So why assume things? I'm not saying I know what the earth is. I don't know, and I'm very comfortable with that because I have no assumption. I don't assume to know. I don't pretend to know. But I think that's where a bit where we're stuck without knowing again, without knowing, without any awareness, because people don't know, but they don't know that they don't know. I don't know if you agree with me.
I I agree with you. What you don't know, you just don't know. The greatest thing is to know.
Yeah.
Because when you're born into a system and the system take responsibility to educate you, and when you reach an adult, it is your responsibility and my responsibility to seek reality. Because truth without speaking truth is one, that is word. But to know the reality of truth is another. And if you don't know the reality of the truth you are speaking, then your words is like the chaff that the wind blow it away. Because as I was saying, there is a story. Negative and positive went to the river to have a swim. Negative influence positive to say, dive under the water. So meanwhile, positive was diving under the water. It is a parable. Meanwhile, the positive was having a dive under the water. The negative get out of the water and put on the clothes of the positive and walking down the street. And everybody was saying, here comes the man of truth. But they never know that it was a wolf in sheep clothing. The hungry time and realized what was the truth. is when them see the positive coming down the street, having no clothes, looking for the negative to get his clothes or her clothes, then everybody start to cry out, oh, this is the bare truth. Because he is looking for the negative to get his clothes. So the one without clothes was the positive one, and that was the truth. So today you have what is truth and what is the real truth. Because the system have been educating us to believe. It's a belief system. It is not for us to know. Because I said, what you know, what you don't know, you just don't know. The greatest thing is to know. And people are reading all these books and all these philosophers telling people how the earth was created, and everybody come up with their own theory. Nobody know how the earth was created. You know, it's just the imagination writing up other people, and people follow those things. So most time in my life, as I said, I let my conscience be my guide. What I don't know, I just don't know. But when I know, then it reflects to the reality of the truth that I know. Because put it this way, the truth is reality that you can see. You know? Sweet words is like sugar that a lot of hands come around, and tomorrow you don't see the sugar anymore because it is only sweet words of sugar. But the reality is the ants is a reality. That's why the ants is eating the sugar. You know? So we can learn a lot of things from insects, and we can learn a lot of things from birds, because those things are the truth. When I see the sun rise, I know it's the truth. When I see the moon and the stars at night, I know it's the truth. When I inhale in the breath of life, I know it's the truth. When I see the ocean, I know it's the truth. So no one couldn't come and tell me that the ocean is upside down and everything is going around.
It
I
just
just
doesn't
I,
make
I
sense.
just dwelt with what I see
Yeah.
and try to have an inner standing within myself.
Yeah, but that's not the desire so much in our conditioned state to find a balance or alignment. Or I think this is far. I think that has to come from a deep desire to align yourself for sure. Like we have took a deliberate decision at one point to elevate and to keep staying on track. Like you said, you're confused or something, just look at the sun, soak up the sun. Maybe you haven't looked at the sun enough. And I think that's the main thing here with people. And that's why they scare us also with the sun, saying to put sunscreen, the sun's going to burn you, it's no good for your eyes, blah, 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 blah. I heard all kinds of stuff to scare me from that thing in the sky, the light in the sky, the light of the world, which is what we should look at more. I think people don't look at the sun enough, because if you look at the sun long enough, you will feel your own conscience. I think this is what's happening, and you will feel the mass consciousness, the everything. You will start to be more sensitive and stuff if you just look at the sun more. And you, first of all, you will notice that it move in the sky, probably, which I've never noticed because I was scared to look at it. So I've never looked at it for long to realize that, hey, maybe if I stay still, it's just going to pass over me. Maybe it's not so much days, but it's passing of the sun. How many passing of the sun have I been here? I don't know. Maybe 45 times, maybe 13,000 passing of the sun. That would be my age, more than, I don't know how many, 45 years in Babylonian calendar. But it's the passing of the sun. You know, that's the length of days, and we all have the same. So, no, the sun is very powerful. And you were referring to something before, and it came to me, a shark. Be careful who you trust, because a shark is still a fish.
Well, listen, it is written, you know, It's not who you trust, because people always come and influence people about trust. Everything come down to works, the activity, because put it this way, honesty is love, and love is a form of spirituality, which is reality. Because when I talk about spirituality, I'm not talking about any ghosts or anything. I'm talking about energy and the activity of human beings and all the livity that around us. I'm not talking unseen ghost business and all them things there whatsoever. I'm talking about livity, the way you live, the way you relate to other human beings.
You made me react big time there.
Yes. So when you see people coming and telling you trust, 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 okay, you're speaking about trust, but let I see your light shine, let I see your works. Because it's only when I see your works, I will know who you are. Because people are deceiving. People are very deceiving. They can tell you, I have two fingers here, and you're going around the corner, you're looking all up five. It's just like the letter 6. In somewhere, you believe it's 6, and then it turn it around and it's 9. You know?
Yeah.
So it's not the word we always speak, but it's the works that we accomplish within ourselves, because it's only by works you can identify if a human being is an honest person, because honesty is works.
But if you're honest, you will do the divine work. That's the divine work. That moving out of chaos as a whole would be great. But I think it starts with the individual to move out of your own chaos first. And when I talk about trust, also I talk a lot about trust because I think because I'm doing the work, I'm out there, I'm shining my light and everything, so people can trust me because I think I have trust. You know, once you can be trust if you have trust in your life, if you have action in your life, if you're into action, if you're doing like I trust you, RAS MIDAS, 100%. I have like the trust because I know you have trust in your life, like you have traction, you have some kind of torque of force of divine force, and that is something that I recognize. But yeah, I see trust, also trusting in yourself, which is very very important, more than believing. Like I pinch myself, I feel it. Why would I believe in myself? But I might not trust myself to really rise and my being to another level. Like so I have to install a trust, and that comes with momentum, with action, with like you said. Exact. But that's the way I see it.
Yes, that's the way it is, because everything that we do and we say, we have to let it be a fulfillment of works. Because you have to honest within yourself first before you can be honest on the outside.
Yeah.
That is what, and you have to apply yourself to those things. You have to apply yourself to these things. It's not going to happen overnight. You personally of yourself, and I personally, or anyone, have to apply those principles within our life to live these things within ourselves. And when we live these things within ourselves, when we live honestly, that light will shine outside of ourselves, that people can judge us by our works, by our deeds, by the way we interact with other human beings. Because that's how fear come in. When you're not honest, then there is fear. And when people find out that you're not honest, fear, the wall or the mountain of fear come within yourself. But when we are honest, because to reach the peak of honesty is no easy game to play. Because when you're born in an environment and a world where at this present time lie is alternative truth now, as far as I'm seeing how the world is running, telling a lie is alternative truth, as that's how they have it in the economical and political and religious games, because long time these games is playing around, and it is fascinating, or is a fascination to people, because people like to hear what don't exist, because when they hear what exists, then they have to deal with it as a reality. They have to apply themselves to it in reality. But when people hear fantasy, oh, it awoke their psyche, because they don't have to apply themselves to the reality of honesty or the reality of the works within ourselves, to let our conscience be the guide of who we are as human beings.
And that's why we're all so very much attracted, like you say, to fantasy, because our whole life is a fantasy, really. Like, if you're not standing up firm within yourself and living that, having that levity and that vitality and that divinity express outside, I don't know, there's something that either you make music, write books, do something, express your voice, lift up. Like, we all have work to do here. I have my own stuff that's been given to me. It's up to me to go get it also. It's somewhere out there. I know it's somewhere out there, but I have to go get it. I have to do the work on myself to bring my being to the end up. I'm doing this every freaking day. And I'm not gonna give up the fight, but give up. I don't like that word, give up. I'm not gonna stop the fight, because it's a bit a fight with your lower state of vibration, lower state of emotion. So until you clear the battle, then you'll be probably what you call at peace. But yeah, it's a lot has to do with doing the work and doing. You know what's the truth? Also, the truth is the footwork. It's the footwork. That's what you were saying before. The truth is the footwork.
Yes, is the works. Is the works. Because plenty people, because we live in a world of plenty people. You ever hear the saying that people is afraid for the truth? They're afraid of reality. Because reality is honesty also. And some people are afraid to be honest with themselves. Because when you're not honest with yourself, as I'm saying before, you cannot honest with other people. And everything lies within ourselves. If people take a good look into themselves and research themselves, they will realize that what they are searching for outside of themselves is deep within yourself. And you have to tap or cross that river within yourself to go over on the other side of positivity, to realize what the difference a day makes when your conscience can set you free, when you can put honesty to works. And that will be a bright light shining each and every day, that a person who do not have that light will always filled with darkness. And a person who is filled with darkness always coming out, oh, I have this light. I'm such a great man. I'm such an honest person. You know, I'm doing all these great things, and you must accept what I am saying. Because hear what happened now. Most people like to be followers. Followers. They do not have the time to stop, take some time within themselves, search themselves to find out who they are, or who we really are as human beings. I'm not saying that I'm better than other people or whatsoever. The only thing I'm saying, I am taking this step forward, looking in myself, and realize that the world that we're living in is a material world of illusion. And when you're caught up in the illusion or fantasy of what it brings to you, you need to take a step within yourself and look into yourself and wonder, where can I find the honesty within myself? So when I'm smiling with my neighbor, I'm reaching out to a brother or a sister, they can feel the honesty of spirit, the truth, that we can come together and reason. People are not reasoning together, because most time people is talking, because look look the world today we live in. Electronics control our sensibility. I'm not saying that electronics is not good, but you cannot let electronics become your guiding light. You see two people walking on the street and no one is talking to each other. Everybody is down on the phone and everybody is tweeting and is just tweeting. And the two of them walking down the street like strangers. When it is time for us to sit down and reason together and find common ground so we can know each other. Because if we don't know each other, we can communicate with each other.
Yeah. Technologies, technologies, technologies. Take knowledge away from man. Take technology. Take. That's what it is. It
Yes.
clearly says it in the word technology. It's take knowledge. So be very careful what use you make of technology. I don't think it's such a bad thing if you use it for the proper upliftment of humanity, upliftment and progress of humanity, of yourself, of other beings. Then it's great. You're doing a great use of technologies. But if you use take knowledge, each, I don't know what to say it, but if you use technologies to mesmerize you, mess with my rise, mesmerize. It's gonna mess with your rise. It's like when you repeat every day, good morning, good morning. Yeah, you're celebrating your death because you're living dead. So you celebrate your death every day when you say good morning, my people. Yeah, you say you're living dead, so you celebrate it. Like why not say good rising, people? Good rising today. Boom. We're rising and shining like the sun. Shouldn't be more comments. Like there's so much word. English sometimes it's a very magical language if you get to analyze it and decorticate a bit the word. So yeah. And you were talking about truth before, and the truth is the reality of what you see. I totally agree. I would translate that in the objective observation of what is, right?
Yes. You see, we have to understand that words are important.
Oh,
Because
very, very important.
look at the word knowledge. KNOW is know, right? You don't need the ledge on it.
And you don't need the K, the scissor either. Like the K is the scissor cut. You could put a G there for Gnostic or God or knowing. I prefer knowledge with a G than
Yeah.
knowledge with a K because with the K, it's like you cut something. That's why you have kids. Kids, look at the word kids. It's the KIDS. You cut their IDs. If you call them kids, they're not kids, they're children.
Yes,
K,
are young
K.
adults. They are young adults.
Yeah.
But listen now. People learn within the system to associate young adults or children with with the young goats or the young sheep, because sheep have kids and goats have kids, and people adopt those principles within a systematic realms, and they do not look. That's why I said words are important, and you have to be careful of the word you speak, because if you don't look into the meaning, because most people just speak words, you know, then you look into the meaning of the word. People get a book and them read, and nobody ever look up the meaning of certain words so you can get an understanding of what you're reading, you know? And
Yeah.
so what has happened, people mentality have become contaminated with a bag of words that they don't really know, and they're speaking the words and don't know the meaning.
And RAS MIDAS, we have to be honest, English has become like the world language. The world main language is English. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why it's not Chinese, or it's not French, or it's not Spanish. It could be any language. Why not? Why we don't all speak Chinese? Maybe we would be smarter if we start to have the desire to learn Chinese. It looks so complicated. Maybe it would make us smarter. But I think the idea of the English, I'm just making a bit of humor here. But if you take English, it's really a language of spell. It's about spelling the words, how you spell it. And in French, it's not that pronounced like the spell thing. And it's really like if you take grammar, it means, if you go into etymology, it's grimoire, it's l'invocage des démons. You're invoking demons. Like, it's really what it is. So if you're not careful, you're going to bring a spell on you with the word. That's why I'm telling you, good morning. Don't say that. You're not dead. You're alive. Good rising, my people. You know, change the vocabulary. You change the whole reality. You change your vibe inside. You change how you vibrate with the word. Say good rising and good morning. Try to say that 7 days in a row and come and tell me you do not feel different. You're going to start feeling different, and then your brain might activate something that you take action also different in your life. So I think it's very much about that. I put so much importance on the words, like you say today. It's crazy. Today, I know at 45 years old, it is the word that is the world.
Yes, it's the word. The word is the most powerful essence or asset within our language that we speak to get whether understanding, overstanding, or understanding. And this is the biggest problem. When you're born, you see, English is like a colonialist language. The people who rules is telling you if you don't speak English, then we're not accepting what you are saying. Like I'm from Jamaica, right? And I speak English the way I want to speak it. But when I reach to England or the United States here, people don't listen what I'm saying. Everybody's saying, speak English. And I'm saying, I'm speaking English. Oh, speak it this way. So I say, well, I have to speak it this way to suit your acceptance. I said, no. English is a language where wherever it speak, people speak it the way they want to speak it. And you have to learn to accept it because it's English. Most of the people them don't really understand that.
And Rastafarian in Jamaica, they were the first one really at the beginning, and I think in the 50s, 40s probably, where the information started to travel. Because before that, I mean, there was barely no newspaper, no TV, no. So with TV, I know it's a mass tool of mass destruction, deception, or something. But anyway, so yeah, the Rastafarian people were really amongst the first one to start changing some words that weren't resonating with them. They're like, hey, we have to resonate. You know, people at one point they start resonating with the words resonance.
Yes,
Simple.
yes,
So what doesn't resonate with you, you discard it. If you're toxic, I'm gonna flush you out.
yes,
Simple.
because what happened? The Rastafarians start to get into English and look for the words that mean something and what don't mean something, because like the word backward. Why you want to use the word backward? You have to move forward ever, backward never. Why you want to use the word you and me? It's separation that, but when I say I and I, is the I that is within I and the I that is within the I become one I.
And the I and I is very, very significant because then it's like the 11. It's like number 11, and number 11 is so significant. For me, Gemini, it's that portal. It's like a portal also. The I and I is the portal through which you access higher consciousness, probably, or the two pillars. That's why 9, 11, the two towers, the 11, the research on it. I can't bring you back everything I research on it. That's what I do all the time. But yeah, the 11, L, even the hell is in there. The hell of the Elohim, of the God. So hell, even. They're even. The
Yes.
hell are even. That's
And,
why the gods are even. They're
and,
the same.
and people don't realize that
No?
the gods are energy, you know.
Exact.
Is people believe so the gods is some special people live somewhere. The gods are energy. It's different formation of energy. It's an intertwine of energies that create the manifestation of creation. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how it really works.
Yeah, so we have to access a bit that portal of consciousness, if I can say that, because it's a portal. Consciousness, it's not something that is automatic. First, I haven't show up here with a conscience activated. They gave me the gift of self-awareness, the gift of life. Like, that's another analogy that I make, RAS MIDAS. We have a gift. It's called life. What do you put on a gift when you celebrate or something? You put a bow on it. So maybe to discover your gift, you should bow to higher and divine.
True. Because put it this way, the sun is the energies of all energies, is the light of the world, otherwise known as Elohim or Amun Ra or Ra. Everything is a combination of energy. It's just like when people hear about the word asset, or in the Greek word they call it Isis, is the female energy.
And that ISIS,
The zodiac, Asar, is the male energy. Just like how you have the sun and the moon, the sun is the male energy and the moon is the female energy. It's like when you have eclipse, right? The sun and the moon is having divine love together. Everything within the universe have divine love. That's why mankind have divine love and reproduce themselves. Everybody talking about, oh, eclipse. I say, what is eclipse? Eclipse. I say eclipse don't mean nothing to mine. When you see the sun and the moon get together, they are in divine love. Just
yeah.
like how male and female here get together in that way for divine love.
But the thing different with them is they don't do it every day, like animals. They
No,
do it maybe once, twice a year. They make love together, and that's enough to reproduce all kinds of stars, probably, and children on Earth and energies, and so we
yes.
are wasting that stuff a lot. I find by being sexual and not sensual enough.
No, because you know what happened? The world that we are living in, and when I say the world, I'm not dealing about the universe, the environment
Yeah,
that
yeah, the environment.
mankind created,
Yeah.
politics, religion, and economics, or whatsoever, philosophers, or what they want to call everything, right? Everybody become a addict to something. So mankind in this time have learned to become addict to sex, as how them have it. Addict. Addict to smoking cigarette, addict to drinking, addict to everything. If you're not a addict to all these things, they feel that you are not living. But the greatest thing is when you realize the divinity within yourself and you can correspond with the energies of the gods, because the gods are the energies. And when you can combine yourself together to know that you are part of the universe and the universe is part of you, the universe is part of I and I is part of the universe. That's why it is written that is I am that I am, that liveth within the I and all the eyes within. So whenever you come to the I wouldn't say acknowledgement, whenever you know, because you don't have to act like you know, you know. Whenever you come to know thyself, that's why it is written, know thyself. And if you know yourself, you will know who you are. And if you know who you are, or you know who the I is, you will know that you are I am that I am, I am.
And the beauty of this, of truth and facts and all this, is you don't have to remember anything. Like I told Gavin, I said, the beauty of doing these shows, Gavin, you want me to tell you what? I don't need preparation. I don't need to remember anything. I come on the spot. It comes from the heart and can be anything else but beauty. So, yeah,
It come from the cosmic energy of words.
exactly.
You know, it is like I am music. I don't wake up one morning and say, I incident, I'm going to write a song. No, 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 no. I personally wait until that inspiration naturally come to I in a spiritual vibe from the cosmic energy of sound and melody, and I work hard and put them together. I don't I don't get up thinking what tomorrow may bring, because I don't know, you know, because the past is history and the future is a mystery, and all I have is the present here today. So within my presence, I make myself the best honest person I can within myself, so I can manifest that honesty within truth, and that truth will be my consciousness, and that consciousness within myself, you know, can give me that guidance, you know,
Yeah, totally
and
agree. Go ahead.
make it simple as that. It's simply if you can apply these things to yourself. Let your conscience be your guide, because your conscience is your honesty and your honesty is your truth. And if you can live that, then you are a spiritual being. That means to say you're living naturally. There's no ghost business or no unseen thing. Because spirituality is energy of reality.
The other day I was watching a video from Ralph, and we didn't even have breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? Ralph Smart. Listen to this. Ralph was saying, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, I got it here. I wrote it down to make sure I don't forget. That's what I do. I take notes. Look, I take all kinds of notes
Okay.
during the time you talk so I don't forget stuff. And the dollar sign with the S, that's the thing I want to talk to you about before I go to can I get a hello there? Ralph Smart. Check him out. Infinite Waters Diving Deep. Yeah, yeah, he's diving deep. I love him. He's great. He's got a great energy. He's a clear, sentient being. You know, he made a video the other day, Ralph, about that. It was about how to recognize if you are a clear, sentient being. And I think that's what some of us are here. See things very clear, crystal clear, like the truth, the facts, and all that stuff. To me, is crystal clear. I don't argue with that kind of stuff, but some people will argue day and night with facts, truth, and reality. Like they can't absorb it. I don't know what it is, but I think it has to do with clairvoyance or clair sentient, because from the word sentient comes the word sentiment. You just add the M and you have sentiment, feeling, sentimental. Wow, isn't it great? So, sentiment. So, clear. Sentient means you have a clear regard on your own feelings and you feel stuff deeply. So, I think we're really clear, sentient. Large up, Rob Smart. Oh, he's
It's
great. There's
cool.
some great people on YouTube. I'm telling you, me, I love those kind of people that yeah that dive deep. Because it's about the like the other day. Listen to this. I was looking at something. I think it's on Facebook or Facebook, Facebook. Call it whatever you want. But I was reading something, and someone was saying, "I thank you from the top of my heart." It felt very weird to me. I don't know where I read this, but should we not be from the bottom of the heart? Like it to me, if I tell you I'm thanking you, it's not from the top of my heart, it's from the bottom of my heart because I'm digging deep. No, we don't have that notion of digging deep within ourselves and dive deep and stuff. Like it's always very shallow, very on the surface, and we don't extend much more than the surface stuff. Like it's diving deep. And yeah, clair sentient, I think it really makes sense. What do you think?
But the thing about it in reality, we we accuse our heart because the thing that people is counting on the heart for is not really your heart. Because your heart is the piston that pump the blood to different part of your structure. That is the piston of your structure. Like how a motor vehicle and the piston have to work to pump the energy to different part. What happened is our vitality. They call it mentality, but I don't deal with the word men. I say vitality. Everything within your consciousness is manifested within your vitality. Just like the higher earth is the male part of the universe and the lower earth is the female part of the universe. So we live within the female part of the universe. So when a man asks me about if I am with the creator, I say I am living in the creator. What more do you want? I have nowhere else to live. But I know that I have to be in communication with the vitality, which is the higher frequency of my spiritual being within the reality of my liberty, which is a form of my honesty within the spiritual truth of reality.
Yeah. And living and creating, I wrote breathing, and it's really about that. It's about creating through the breath. But even that, we're not really conscious of our breathing and stuff, and we don't focus really much on what we breathe out. Also, the word, because when you breathe out, it's words that come out. Like you breathe in, it's inspiration. We should be, when we breathe in, every time we take a breath in this earth, we should be inspired. That's what it is, inspiration. Like every time you take a breath, where do you take your breath? In front of a TV, in front of a podcast, in front of music. You smoke weed. Like where do you take your breath? You smoke cigarette. Like inspiration. What do you inspire? Cigarette smoke. That's what inspires you. Like be careful what you keep around you to inspire you. Like I'm not condemning people that smoke cigarettes. It's not. It's an habit that maybe people should let go, but I don't judge them. I far from being a perfect sentient being myself, so I don't judge people for that. It's a personal thing. It's something that you do. I don't know. It's not good. It's not healthy for sure. I think it's proven that smoking is not healthy. Even smoking weed. That's what we were talking in the beginning. Weed, cannabis should be drink in tea or directly from the plant and be eaten like the birds do. The birds go directly on the cannabis plant and munch on it and go back and do their trip. They go fly high. That's why they fly high after, because they have hate and cannabis. That's why the birds fly high. Vitality. I prefer that over, for sure, mentality, because even the mind, okay, often I want your opinion on that, your insight. Often we talk about the mind, okay? Like I said at the beginning, we have to master the mind. But the mind, I mean, bring me a plate. I cannot bring it on a plate. I cannot bring the mind on a plate and touch it. So the mind is something you don't see, you can feel. But I think it's more like you have your own brain. You think with your own brain, you have your thoughts, your conscience. And I think the mind is more something universal that we all attach to. And the mind is a bit the matrix. Like that's how I see it because I really have, I never encountered a mind. I've encountered a brain. I've seen a brain out of animals, out of humans. You can bring it on a plate, the brain. You can touch it. But the mind, what's the mind, RAS MIDAS?
The mind is energy.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
It,
I'm
it,
all ears.
the mind is a calculation of energies that resonate within your brain and manifest itself into words. And when it manifests itself into words, I and I manifest it into works. Because everything that you created outside of you is in your brain already in the energy of words. Whenever we speak is a manifestation of the mind. I said I'm going to build a house. But if I don't build the word does not manifest itself into reality. So the mind is energy of words, and we manifest those words into reality. It's like the great teacher Melchizedek. One time, his pupils asked him, "Where is the creator?" He said, "Some will say he's in a desert. Some will say he's in a dark place. But lo, the creator is within yourself. And if you look within yourself, you will know that you is part of the creator and the creator is part of you. Because it's not the clothes you wear or the food you eat. It's the word that you speak shall judge you who you are." So
Very, very much.
every man is a judger of his own self by the word he speak, and that word manifests in itself into works.
Yeah, but there's a part also missing with honesty, and it's humility and humbleness, which often were very rebel against higher and divine, against the divine forces. Really, if we're not at one point taking the road to higher and divine, you're on the road to freaking hell or somewhere like that. Like you want to take the right road in life. I think we all have the potential and the capability and the ability to steer our ship, right? But it takes
Yes.
leadership. Like you said, it's leadership. We all here to lead our own ship. But don't wait for the ship to come in. Go out and pull that ship in.
Yes.
That's how I see it.
Because
Boom, right and direct.
you're the leader of your own doings, and you're his master of your own works, whether it is negative or positive. You see everything. Well, we might believe that the negative is wrong and the positive is right. But everything, but it have to have a balance. The negative is to learn you, is to teach you that don't try this road here again, because if you continue to try this road, this is what's going to happen. And if you trod the positive road, this is what is going to happen. So the negative balance to teach you, because okay, how do you know if fire will burn you if you don't feel the burn of the fire? You don't know how dangerous fire is unless you feel the burning, right?
Right.
If you cannot swim, don't jump into the water because you will drown. Going
Better
into the
to know
water,
the rule of the game before you play the game.
yes. learn to swim before you go into the water. Because if you go into the water and you cannot swim, 99.9% you might drown.
Okay, so that comes to me. There's something flash in my head when you say that, and I'm sure you're gonna agree. Every time we buy something new, Nan just bought a GoPro. I'm sure she didn't read the instruction manual before touching the GoPro. That's what we do, you know. Every time we get a new toy or a new technology device, we gonna rarely look at the instruction manual. Me, I rarely do it. I open the box, I touch the thing, I want to know right away how it works. That's exactly what we do with our life. We came here, we've been given an instruction manual. It's the divine laws, the divine cosmic laws, not the laws of men. That's their instruction manual. But we have a divine instruction manual that we have taken, woo, up the door. And now we think we are capable of navigating the troubled waters of Babylon and a ship leaking water. The ship is taking water and we keep still navigating because we're so arrogant against the divine waves that we keep hitting the wall and hitting the wall. And some people never learn. Like, be honest, there is doors in your house. There is opportunities in life, and face them. That's it.
The reason is that we are not educated. Just put it this way. You see the people them who run and control the world, they know what they are doing, you know. They know. They know that if they educate you to know the truth, then they cannot control you. Because if you know the truth and live the truth, then you can free from Babylon environments. But at the same time, sorry, you cannot you cannot blame Babylon for everything that happened to you because you are adult. We are an adult. We should take responsibility for our own doings, because when you see the light, then you will stand up for your rights. But if you are in darkness, you cannot see no light. And in the darkness of the environment of the world that we live in, you will always be mentally blind. That's why they call the word mentality. But when you have vitality, then you overcome mentality. In other words, you overcome the teaching of men. The word men mean more than one. More than one. So within us is the positive and the negative. But when you learn what is the negative, it gives you the road to correspond or more in tune with the positive.
Probably why some of us are so positive because of our life experience in the depths of hell. Like, I've traveled to the depths of hell in my life, like substance abuse and stuff, and listening to other people, following other people in life, and without having any center, any reason for it. Like, also being honest, 95% of the company I had around me in life ended up being bad company. Like, the only good, really company were very few people. So, be very selective who you keep around you. Most people are very toxic. That's why I said, if you're toxic, I'm going to flush you out. I have no time for toxicity in my life. No more toxicity. No more, like, you got to be aware of this. But if you're not aware of your own toxicity, what you're doing is you're going in the well and you're bringing out your toxicity in the well with your mouth and your life work, whatever you're doing, and it's not aligned with nature, and it causes damage and to the environment and to other beings, and yeah, it's just perpetuating the hellish existence.
Well, put it this way. You are cleaning up your mental cup. So when you're cleaning up your mental cup, you're cleaning out the environment of men. You're cleaning out the teaching of men. And so when your cup is clean, there is the water of life that dwell within a clean cup. Because the water of life cannot dwell within a dirty cup. So when your when your mentality become vitality, that means you are communicating with the higher heights of energy. So you can cultivate honesty, you can cultivate love, you can cultivate truth within yourself. So you're rebuilding yourself. It's like okay. It's like some people read the Bible then, and they do not understand the Bible because the people them who write the Bible didn't write it for the common people to understand or overstand it, to confuse you. So they write everything in parables and keep you going around. Put it this way: let us make man in our own image. It means that you must rebuild yourself after you're born and come into the environment of negativity. The mental state you are in. That's why it's named the mental state. In that mental state that you are in, when you clean up your mental cup and you have positive vibes and you are in tune with the vitality, you are rebuilding yourself again. You're saying to yourself, let us rebuild myself into a new stage. I'm a new man. I'm a new woman. I'm a new being. Now I am picking from the tree of life, the tree of positivity. I am getting the fruits of knowledge, knowing things, you're not a wisdom again, you become wise. Because when you're wise, you're not in the wisdom. And you have the understanding.
One of the greatest philosophers probably on earth, but he was one. I don't know if he was a wicked or one of them or whatever, but Socrates, I think it's Socrates or Plato, once was asked, what is wisdom? And he said, I don't know. That says it all.
Yeah, because the word dumb, what the word dumb mean?
Dumb?
The word dumb is that you're illiterate, you don't know.
Yeah.
So the guy just had on dumb on it because he can always fool the dumb. But a man that is wise indeed, because he know the difference a day makes. He know where the tree of life is within himself. He know that the tree of life is in his vitality. And he can choose the fruit of honesty, the fruit of love, the fruit of reality, and rebuild himself to be a new man.
Rebuild and nourish your roots this time. Don't forget to nourish your roots, because the more you nourish your tree, the more you're going to branch out. That's what
Because
tree
if you
does.
know your roots, you know the truth. And
Exactly.
if you know your roots, then you know where your branch is coming from and where your branch is going.
Mm-hmm.
So most time, this is how they use religion and politics to manipulate your vitality, so you can always be in the syndrome of mentality. You're in the syndrome of men. You have to listen to men all the while to preserve who you is. So you leave who you is and in the gutter of men. That's why when you're in the gutter of men, some get drugs out. Some do all kind of things with their structure and destroy their own being within themselves. And many people never come forward from that gutter that they're in. And so people start to blame the devil and people start to blame God, and nobody ever take responsibility for their own doings. Because you have to take responsibility for your own doings, whether it is positive or negative.
But we are very unaware and of consequences also. So consequently, we're going to suffer.
Well,
Because we're very, very unaware of consequences. We think there's no consequences for our action, like children. Like children, why do you think they act up sometime and stuff? Because they are sure there will be no consequences, like before, unless you discipline them. So that's why discipline is very important. Also, having discipline, and yeah, that for sure, and the part that you have to discipline yourself, also for sure.
yeah, 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 because it is written. You have to bend the tree when it is young. Because when the tree become a full tree, you cannot bend it again. So within ourselves, within our children, first thing, you have to be disciplined within yourself. You have to be honest within yourself so that you can install or teach your children the importance of honesty.
Yeah,
Teach,
because
teacher is not going to teach them for you in school. You understand me? Because the greatest school is the home. The greatest school for a young child is the home. Because if discipline, respect, and spirituality, and honesty, and love, and reality is within that home, that child will walk out of that home in the sequence of vitality.
that's it. And from the word school come the word skull. You just change the few little bit. It sounds the same, school skull. So for sure, if you want to teach something to your children, you better make sure they hear your voice. So they put something in their school skull.
Yeah, that's why they use the word scholar.
Yeah, scholar.
You are a
Scholar.
good scholar in school.
Yeah.
It mean that if your vitality is clean enough to accept the words of wise teaching, teaching
Exactly.
of knowing, and teaching of understanding, overstanding, and understanding. Because they only teach you to have understanding. But what about understanding? You have to understand first before you can overstand or understand.
Yeah, yeah. Like I explained to Nan before, I think that the first thing is to take you acknowledge your environment, what you're sitting on, what you're on, what kind of foundation you're on the earth. Ground yourself very good. It all comes down with your toes in the dirt. Dig your toes in the dirt, ground yourself to the earth, remove your rubber shoes, and ground yourself in the earth first. Understand, be at the foundation. That's how I see it. Then you can move to another stage, which is understanding. Like you bring it to your being, you start to understand reality of your own being, of the world. And then when you start to really like, I think the overstanding part is like the solutual part is when you become, when the essence of your being is shining. This is the soul to me. We don't all have a soul. We don't have, we have it, but it's very, very dim. Like it's the soul. I think the soul, because now we were talking about the mind and stuff, but there is the soul also that people refer to a lot. And the soul is really the divine essence of your being. It's the soleil, soul, soleil, sun. It's you shining from the inside. This is the essence. That's what you leave after you're freaking dead. What's going to be behind? Like RAS MIDAS, after he's dead, he's going to sing again. But that's his living soul. That's his sun inside of him, shining through eternity and beyond, because he leaves something behind. But if you come like a leaf in the wind, you're not going to leave no really something very shining behind. So that's why I say the living soul is very important. And like my good friend Arthur, Christian from Australia, large up Arthur and Fiona. I know they're going through hard times lately. Large up to both of them. Like he says, we have the tendency to define magnificence, okay? To define magnificence, but we define magnificence into mediocrity. I want you to extend on this. We define magnificence into mediocrity, and we call this magnificence. Now, we have to understand what the word mediocrity is. being mediocre. What it is, you have the word medio, medios, middle, 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 and criti, which referred to a rugged mountain. So you stop at half your climb. You settle for half the mountain all the time. That's being mediocre. If you don't want to use your limb and do the sea limb, the climb, the sea limb, use your your legs to do the climb and to do the footwork, which is the truth. This is where you settle for mediocrity, and you have the nerve to define this as magnificent. You define yourself as magnificent people when really you're deep into mediocrity, and that's the truth. That's a fact.
It's because they leave out the word magnitude.
Go ahead, tell me a bit more.
You see, you see what Babylon do in the language is fantasize these words. The word supposed to magnitude. How do you reach the magnitude of your being within climbing the mountain? When you reach on top of the mountain and you can see everywhere, you reach the heights of your magnitude. It's no magnificence. I don't understand what you mean by your sense. Or whether you give me a sentence or whatever you mean. That's why they come with the word sense. They don't tell you that is what you know. You see them tell you the word of knowledge. You're hacking what you know. Knowledge. To hack what words you know. So when you reach that magnitude, you reach the heights of your vitality. In riches, you are on top of the mountain, and you can look and see the four corners of the world.
And
but when you're in the valley, you cannot see the four corners of the world.
the valleys of death.
You're down in the valley of deception,
The
the
valleys of
valley of
deception and
mental
death.
death.
Yeah.
You know, if sometimes your consciousness is burned out in the valley because the journey is rough. So you have to have that magnitude of sensibility to climb that mountain. Not a physical mountain, but a mental, a heightal mountain. You have to reach you have to go. That's why heights is up. Seeing? And you cannot see the width until you reach on top of the magnitude on top of that mountain. Then you see the width. How wide is the world you are in, and how deep you are coming from. So you come from the deepest depths to the higher heights within your vitality.
Profound.
Yes.
We're going deep today.
Yes.
I like this. I love this. I love to reason with you. You're going deep all the time, and we're so much on the same. Not that it may, but not that I would not receive you if we would not be on the same page, but it makes it easier to like reason. We're both very open and very clear sentient. So good. It's good to reason together when you're both clear sentient. When things are clear, when it's not fog, it's hard to speak with someone that has fog in the brain. Like clear the fog, and after we'll have a great discussion for sure, or a great discussion. I don't like this discussion. This no. We'll have a great reasoning. That's better. Yeah. So the next part also that we cannot forget that's it in our reasoning is responsibleness, that I put in sensitiveness. And I think we're not sensitive enough anyway. The common sense is not common practice. So we're talking about sense here, eyes. We're talking about touch, seeing, hearing, and feeling. Like, senses. And I don't think we're using them to the full potential. We're using them a bit. But I think also it has, like, your senses, we limit ourselves to 5 senses a lot. Okay? I think it's more about 6 sense. And that 6 sense, it's that inner eye. I say inner eye more than third eye because it shouldn't be referred as in third place. It should be the first eye. It should be what you activate at first is what you can sense through, I don't know, through the another eye inside your intuition. I don't think it's
That's
something
why
you
name vitality, man.
yeah.
Vitality.
I, comes the word I also. Yeah, good.
Yes.
Extend on it.
Yes. Is the vitality. Because here the reasoning. When plenty people is not on our journey because we're too, listen, crowd is not good, a crowd. Where two or three is gathered together, reasoning, hopeful reasoning of honesty and knowing and wise communication, then your vitality is always getting higher to learn.
So you start seeing the invisible at one point.
So when them tell you that you only have 5 cents, is a limitation. Do put it this way. Let us not call it sense because I'm limited to sense. Your vitality up here, your vitality, supposed to be limitless. There's no limit on your vitality because as long as you limit your vitality, you are stagnant and in the valley of decision. You won't have no knowledge or knowings or wise how to climb the mountain. You will always in the valley struggling.
And I think you say the valley of decisions. That's what you said with the S. And if you're stuck in a valley of decision, the way I see it, what you said, tell me if I'm wrong, if I interpret this the wrong way, maybe, but I don't know what's right or wrong, really. The right way. Anyway, there is a right way, I think, to do things. But it's get confusing a bit in English because there's always an opposite in the words. There's always, except for the word fact. I haven't found really an opposite to the word fact. There might be. I haven't do extensive research, but I think a fact is a fact. But you have truth, lies, dark, light. There's always opposite. But what I was talking about, the vitality, what I was gonna bring you on, I forgot. What I was talking at the beginning.
No, you was talking about the valley of
Oh,
decision.
the valley of decision. That's what I want to bring about. Uh, in our life, we think we have many, many decisions to take. That's why you refer to the valley of decision, like it would be a big, big valley with full of decisions during our life, like it's a big thing to take decision. When really it comes down to a single decision in your life, there's only one to take, one decision, and it's to pray and serve higher and divine. That's all it is to me today. It's not no more. I'm no more in the valley of decisions where I think I have to take endless decision with my life day after day. No, I took the one noble right decision that was to praise and serve higher and divine. Praising is raising the power of the divine, of the creator, that force behind the sun and the moon and the stars and you and me. I don't know what that is. Really, I've never had an encounter, but I had an encounter. I have it now. I have it in front of me. That's a divine encounter to me. I have many, many encounter with divinity. Yeah, but those people that encounter might not know that they are very divine, so they act. If you're not acting from your divine self and stuff, you're either like if you're not part of the solution, you are the problem. If you're not human, you are barbarian demonic. It's rough what I'm saying there, but that's the truth. Like if you are on the barbarian demonic side, if you're not on the on the road to serving a higher and divine, which is doing your life work, doing something with your life. It's not extravagant. I'm not doing nothing extravagant here. I'm just doing something with my life. I discovered that I had a gift, was life. So I decided to bow to a higher and divine and do the footwork, which is the truth. Like it's very simple, but we tend to make it so complicated.
Well, when you're in the valley of decision and you want to come out of the valley, it is a easy way. Man or woman, know thyself. If you know yourself, then you can come out of the valley of decision, because there's only one decision you have to make, is to know yourself. Know who you are, know what the goals within you are, you know the wiseness that you can accommodate within yourself. You have to be a self-teacher of yourself. You can't be a follower. You have to start teach yourself. Because we all go to school and we grow up into this world. And when you start to teach yourself, you start to realize, so everything that I learn is illusion. But the things that I teach myself is reality. Because you're evolving out of the illusion and the imagination. Because listen what people learn in this world that we live in. You're born, you go to school, you get an education. You hear them call it education. Heady is to control your vitality.
Hey, edification.
Yes, to be
Yeah.
a slave, to the system. You know, anytime you become a slave to the system, you're working for the system. So
And
there is no time for you to know thyself when you are in the valley of decision.
and depending which valley you live in, like which place you live on Earth, the system will be a bit different. Like here in Canada and US, why do we bring children into even daycare? Like even daycare, and then, but that's the system. The people work and both parents work and stuff. But even bringing the children to school at 5 year old to do like real work, like 5 6 year old, 6 year old, you enter first grade and they start to condition you to be a good worker and to just follow the herd and stuff without with killing your creativity really. Because I had one course about art, and it was like an hour a week, and it's not enough to bring you the desire to learn more about our artistic creation and stuff. So I think there is other countries in the world that they send children to school, but they don't do homework. They don't bring homework home. Like even the notion of bringing homework at home, isn't it crazy? Like that, but that's the conditioning also to always bring your work at home. You know that when you're older, that's what you do. That's what you talk about most of the time is your work, the weather, and stuff like that. So you bring your work at home, and that's all you talk about. Most of people are like that. I was a bit like this. I was coming back from work and talking about my work. So that's the conditioning. It's conditioned deeply. So I see this today, and come on, I tell different things to my children. I always tell Gavin, go there. Like I think it's Finland or some places like that. They send children to school, but they don't start learning until they're 12, like mathematics, algebra, and stuff like that. When the brain starts to when the self-awareness is more developed and the creative part of the brain is activated, then okay, maybe start to teach some logical stuff like mathematics and stuff, even if it's it is what it is.
Well,
Yeah.
homework should begin at home. It's parents are responsible for
Yeah.
homework for children. You know, is in the home homework is, and parents should be the guidance there. You know, because one of the biggest problem in the world today, people are not educated to be self independence,
Self-taught and stuff. Yeah.
self reliable. Because if we was self independent and self reliable, you'd have two parents have to go to work and carry their children to a daycare. Because when a child go to daycare, they lose the energy. and the spirituality from their own parents. They are out together with different children, lose the essence, the knowledge, the caring of the parent. Because everything become a commodity now. I have to rush home from work to pick up my child. And when that child reached home, there is no communication with the child. It just, Mickey's get some dinner for the child and put the child before the TV, or it's time for bed, and wake up early in the morning and you do this said thing over and over and over again. And then the only little time you get to spend with it with your child is when holiday come and you run upon a little vacation. You with him? Vacation, or what's the what call it? They're going on vacation. You know? They're vacating their time away from in the valley of decision where you is. So we don't educate to be self-reliant. We're not relying on our own creativity and ourselves.
And even when it comes time, like we go out and make money in society and in Babylon and stuff, and we use our money, we spend our money, we should be very conscious how we spend our money, because that's our life that we spend there. Like if you go to work 40 hours a week, that's your life there. And the bread you're bringing from that time you have spent in your life at work, you should invest it wisely. Yeah, you know, that's not what we do. We dilapidate our money, it burns in our hands, and that's what life is doing also to us. Our life is burning away like a campfire on a raging campfire, like not because you have a raging fire inside, but your life is being consumed so fast and without awareness that you can't slow it down. It seems you can slow down. Like it's crazy, that rhythm, that hamster wheel. Crazy stuff.
You,
Really.
you know, there was a time.
You were talking, hold on just a second. You were talking also about children and parents and stuff. You know how I see the relation between children and parents, and that's really how I try to possibly act all the time. It's coaching. You know, we should be good coach for our children. But what's happening, you know, it's the difference between also, again, consoling someone and coaching someone. If you console someone, you make them feel better. That's why you give a console game to your child. So they play on a console, they feel better in the moment, but they don't feel better in life, just for the time doing. If you coach them, on the other end, you're going to make them be better. So consoling, most parents are consoling because they don't know how to coach themselves first out of chaos. So they teach the same chaos to their children, and that's the chaos we have outside. So yeah, so it's really about coaching. Coach your children, make sure they hear your voice, and your voice from your heart, for sure.
But the system that we grew up in, we don't learn. They don't teach you how to be a proper parent. That's why you see so much confusion is going on with between male and female. You know, because when you don't grow up into an environment of honesty, the female don't honest with the male, and the male don't honest with the female, and so there is no cultivation of love. There's no cultivation of reality. There's no cultivation of spirituality, because divine spirituality is supposed to keep people together. Because in the world we live in, love is business. You find that in the valley of decision. And you have to know yourself to get out of that kind of decision. That's why you were saying that in the valley of decision, there's so many decisions.
Again, it's the difference between being stuck and being struck by the power of commitment. Some people are stuck in a valley of decision. They haven't been struck, like being struck by lightning.
Well, that is true too, because commitment means honesty.
Yeah. You have a clear communication with yourself, commitment.
You
You are
know?
coherent, coherency, commitment. It's commitment. It's like, yeah, it's powerful word.
Yeah, because if you have love and honesty, then you're not into any commitment. Because a commit, people, you commit any kind of thing, whether it's crime or whatsoever. But when you're honest, in the environment of honesty, and that honesty cultivates love, and that love cultivates spirituality, and that spirituality creates reality. Because when you have true love, there is no commitment. It's true love. You don't have to commit.
No, we should be naturally committed. Like we have life. That should be the commitment. You have life.
Yeah. You see?
Yeah. We should not seek, but we seek a lot. We tend to pretend that it's not here and now because this way we don't have to do the footwork right now. We can postpone and procrastinate and delay our action or doubt ourselves. Or, these are demons, very, very potent. I had those in my life. I have experienced them. So today I know it's about not so much opening doors, it's realizing that we're building walls. We're building walls more than opening doors. And we keep hitting the wall and we don't seem to learn. So there's got to be a learning somewhere. The past is there for reasons to learn from it. So you
Yeah.
don't repeat the same mistake from the past and you become a better person. But sometimes the awareness is not there. Like I said, most don't know that they don't know that they don't know. So it goes very deep. I
Yes,
don't know really where to start.
because put it this way, we are building a concept of honesty. We might not complete it, but our children can pick up from it and work on what we have laid, a foundation. Yes, what I'm saying, because hear the whole truth of it. We have not been educated that love is a way of life, that you have to live love. People can talk about love, 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 but to live love is a different part. Because in other words, you have to live the reality of love for love to fulfill itself in the reality of what you're saying or what you're doing. Because remember, love is a noun. And a noun in the English language is a word of action, a word of doing.
Love is actualized through loving action.
See? So it's not the word you speak. That's why people talk about love, 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 love.
I
Let
love
us
you,
see
I
your,
love you, I
let,
love you, eh?
let I see your works. Then I see your love. Let I see your works. Then I will see your love. And when I see your love, I will see your works.
But again, if you take the I love you for the sound that it makes, the I love view, you view the love, you view your I view the love. I mean, it says it in the word. It's not something you should project to another person. Should something you project to higher and divine? My high view the love here on earth. So yeah, I'm part of it.
Yes, is the vitality.
But it's the vitality of people. They
Yeah.
see
If love is coming,
word as literal.
yeah, if love is manufacturing from your vitality, then that love is single and powerful. But when your love have a different wolf, a different kind of string on it, when you go around the car in the morning, your love is one way, and in the evening, your love is a different way. That's why in Rastafari is one love. That's why my concept is the one love revolution. Is the one revolution of love. One is represent the I. in I and I beginning is the oneness. In the oneness is the high, is the vitality to live up to the best of our ability within honesty. Because to live this way is the reality in the works, and the light that we are shining is the reality of our works.
Yeah, because the number one, you write it exactly like a high.
Uh, you see what I'm
A
saying?
pillar. It's a pillar also. It's a pillar. It's a straight line. It's an alignment. Like the line is very, very, very powerful. You write on lines. If you turn it like this, you can write on them too and follow the line. But
Yes,
guess what? You can also read in between the lines. Oh, that's another one. Read in between the lines. Lines
yes,
are very powerful.
yes,
It should be followed.
yes. It's still the I am that I am.
Yeah,
It's the I am that I am. I am the beginning. I am the life. I am the man. You know? I am the word.
that's why today someone made a mistake. I think it's one of my great collaborator, Will, was in the chat this earlier today. First Light Reasoning, Motivation Academy live every day, 7 a.m. I'm there every day, and he's there with me every day. And he was saying he said he did a mistake when he wrote, but at first he wrote "I am the light," but he corrected himself after, and he said, "No, no, we are the light or something, or there is light." No, I said, "You are the light of this world." Just like if you shine the sun, the same light as the sun, as powerful as the sun, you are the light of this world. We're all light beings, unless you're another kind of demonic barbaric being. Like there is a lot of them also. There's different beings here. I don't think they're all human. There's just different. I see different beings. To me, you are a human beings because you have been going through a humanification process, and that
Yes,
I don't think everyone goes through a humanification process. Some rebel against the humanification process. So it's just different beings, and being able to recognize those different beings. There's some very, very wicked also.
yes, yes. You have to overcome the beast mentality.
Yeah, and
You
stop
know,
feasting.
to have humanity within your vitality, so you can always reaching out with the consciousness of humanity. But when you can't overcome the beast, you will always down in the valley of decision, searching in the darkness, stumbling in the darkness, and you will never find that light. Because you have to realize you have to wake up the light within yourself. That light is within yourself. That's why it is written, let your light shine before men that they will see your good works, and that will glorify the creator that rests within the I am that I am.
Exactly. Very profound. Very simple, but very profound at the same time, which is why probably we cannot really I don't know. We have to condition ourselves, practice that kind of stuff, practice forgiveness, practice being grateful. Like it's a practice. It's going to be an habit at first because it's not something that will come natural. It will come, it will become natural, but it's not something that comes naturally to be elevated. And so you have to do the footwork. You have to go out and do the work and put yourself on. Put yourself on because no one will, but no one will put me on here other than me. If I don't come on live and direct, you think someone will come and press the button for me? No, I'm the one with the cursor. I'm the one with the cursor. Be careful because that's the curse that you bring upon you. Oh, that's
That's
why.
why they bring so much confusion. The system brings so much confusion. Yeah, in creation within I and I, you have male man and female man. But the system of fixed run and call woman and feminist and all kind of different kind of names to bring a separation, because they do not know that it take one male and one female to be a complete man.
And the man will feel a lot more complete with a woman around, and a woman around will feel more complete with a man around. Okay, there's some homosexual stuff, but I have nothing. I don't judge these people honestly because it's always been around. There's since the world is world, there's been homosexual stuff. Me, I don't judge that kind. I have no opinion on it. It's not really my thing, but I who am I to judge? Like it feels very the judgment part feels very very wrong for me because the judges of greatness, it's not me, it's the sun, the moon, the stars. Like if they do, I don't know. I have nothing really. I know some Rasta people. I heard some Rasta people words towards homosexual very vindictive words, like very very against it. I don't know what's your opinion on this, but
Now listen, each one is responsible for their own doing and
yeah,
the word that they speak. I am responsible. I am an independent Rasta man. I am not a follower. So if some people with locks say what they want to say, they say what they want to say. Put because it is easy. It is easy. When I come here to count the cows, I don't come to drink the milk. So I am not troubling what don't trouble I. Because I realize in this world that I'm living is good, bad, and indifference. And it's up to I to choose what suits my environment. Because I am the ship of my environment. I am the pilot of my ship. I am the teacher of my own self. So I don't come to judge and to discriminate against other people or to condemn. You know, I live my life the way I see it within my light. And whether one want to be of that is just one love for I.
RAS MIDAS, we have to be honest on something too. If we steer the ship, we start taking control of the ship, taking leadership, steering our ship, it's important to review the map because we've been given a wrong map with wrong values and wrong principles. So if we keep those values and principles, we're going to still navigate the same troubled waters. Our boat can be steered on calm waters also. Doesn't have to be on an ocean full of raging waves. Can be a smooth ride. Why life should be like chaotic all the time? Don't we come here to be at ease and be very peaceful and joyful and loving and lighting and like life should not be a heavy load. Like your ship should not sink to the water line. Like your ship should be very smooth on the water and go smooth and on smooth waters. Like I think there is that part also that we have to make sure if we steer our ship that we have the correct map to navigate, right?
Yes, every man get paid as according to their works. Every man, every woman get paid as according to their works. You cannot sow peas and reap corn. So what each and every one of us sow, that's what we're going to reap. You know? I understand what people say and I understand what they do, but I don't have to follow their path because I am not a follower. Because if I know myself, man, know thyself. And I personally work very hard trying to know myself. I'm not saying that I know everything. I am just reasoning. Some people is going to accept some of what I say and some is not going to accept. But I am not discriminating against nothing. I am just saying within the world that we live in today is a world of indifference. And everyone is responsible for the path they choose and the path they trod. And there's plenty people in this world. You are my brother. It's since last year I discovered that you is my brother. You know? And we are we can say we are in the said boat.
Yeah, and there's something I really appreciate love from you is that you rarely refer to race also, because like it's so non. That's the one nonsense thing I hear a lot is race. Just if you mention the word race, you are a racist. Simple. It's like if you are uh, uh, like all those. If you are referring always about your ego and you boast your ego, you are egoist, right? So if you talk about race, you are a racist. And that's, I think, really much a fact because there's no race. It's the human family. It's the human family. We're all in the same boat. It's the same family. RAS Midas is my brother. You're not strangers watching me. I don't consider no one as strangers here watching and listening. And no, we're all brothers and sisters. And that's how I see everyone. But the word race, like the rat race. And we refer to the rat race and the race and the race
And
car, like the race track and the race. And it's so important to race all the time. And then after we talk all the time about race, which refer to different shades, different maybe skin color. But you have a nose, two eyes, a mouth. You think like a human, like it's just the color of the skin. Who cares? There's different plant colors. Is the plant all the same color? Is the veggies all the same colors? Like it's common sense that we're different colors. It's a colorful world. Like if we would be all the same color, it would be boring. Like it's
if,
great, different
if
beings, different colors, colorful people. But the race thing, go ahead.
no, I don't get into those things because I am dealing with humanity. I
Exactly.
deal with humanity, not the you. Say I am dealing with the humanity. Because I said to myself plenty time, because this is what the spirit told me in words. If every human being was the same, what would you choose? Huh? What would we choose? But I'm feel so hopeful within myself that there are many different kinds of human beings living in this world. Many different. Because in every walk of life, you have good, bad, and indifference. And if you can see the beauty in yourself, you can see the beauty in other people. But if you look into yourself and see ugly all the while, you see the ugliness in other people. So you come up with this systematic version of race. I know. You say anywhere you have race, there is dishonesty. When you go to
Exactly.
the race track, whether the horse race, dishonesty is there because some is going to win and some is going to lose. If you go to the dog race, is the said thing. The elephant race is the said thing. The camel race, some is going to win and some is going to lose. But when I deal with humanity, there is no winners and there is no losers because we are all together trying to work to make our light be a big shining light. Yes, I.
Achievement. We're talking about collective achievement. Well, if we want to achieve more collectively, we have to spread more love.
Yes, we have to live it.
Yeah,
Because living love is action. Talking love is just a word coming from the mouth.
and life is to be loved. What do you do in life? What you do in life? Like most people, that's a funny thing also. You ask most people, what do you do in life? They will give you their job or what their occupation is. If you ask me what I do in life, I'm breathing, bro. I'm breathing. That's what I do for life. I breathe.
Yes,
That's
I
my
want to ask
answer.
what I'm doing. I'm living love.
I'm living love. I'm breathing. Wow. Isn't it wonderful? And then they get
Yeah.
all confused. They're like, what you do? Yeah, I'm living and I'm breathing and I'm spreading love. That's what I do. And I love it. It's the most beautiful thing that has probably the best decision I ever taken in my life is that day that I said it's
But,
time
but,
to wake up and yeah.
but there's one thing I would like your audience who is listening to know. No Rasta man or Rasta woman is coming and discriminating against other people. No Rasta. Because you know what happened? When you're a Rasta man, you see and blind and you hear and deaf. You know? See and blind, ear and deaf. So when people out there and see people with locks on their head discriminating against people, because first of all, you don't have to have locks on your head to be a Rastafarian, because you know what I know? There is more people, there's more Rastafarian without locks, more than who is with the locks.
It's from the heart.
Yes, so you have to that's why I'm saying you have to let your light shine. Because you know what happened? The people them that you hear speak it so much with their lips. Their heart is far away from the reality of the Creator.
Yes, because you have to listen twice as much as you speak.
Yes, because you know what it said? It's not everyone that speaketh about I, he's recognizing the I that I am in I. No one is recognizing the itality. Most of them become followers of men, followers of mentality.
Yeah.
So I personally know a Rastafari. That's why I don't use the word Rasta, you know, because it's not Rasta, means I am Rastafari. You see, Rastafari. Because I am working very hard to be in the oneness of the I am that I am. So I don't have any time to see what other people are doing or to discriminate against other people. Because, listen, it's not the word we speak,
And
it's the
also,
works. And every man word shall be his own burden. Every man word shall be his burden or her burden.
especially when it comes to Rastafari, it's hard to determine who's the king if you consider the lineage. Like,
I am
what's new? What's new?
Rastafari.
What's new if you consider the old?
Well, people get some bad discern about it. Haile Selassie come to let people know that you are Rastafari when you are living with the I within itality. If you know the I am that I am and you reach on the mountain and have the magnitude within yourself, you are Rastafari. It's not people to come down and praise Emperor Haile Selassie. It's you to know the Rastafari within yourself.
Yeah, because there is this idea that a lot that many Rasta guy promote in their music also is to praise Rastafari, the man, Haile Selassie.
No, it's to live Rastafari. It's not to praise Rastafari. It's to live Rastafari.
I think it's a bit better.
Let your words be seen. Let your words and your works. Let your works be seen.
And it
Is
should be again Rastafari. Rastafari.
is Rastafari.
Yeah.
See? Because most of the people who speaking like that is because they follow in religion. Religion. First thing, the word religion mean education. The word religion originally mean education. So if people follow the roots of the word coming from ancient Egypt, they will know that the word religion mean education.
But it's educating yourself to relinking to higher and divine. Religion. It's relinking to high end. The high end is that's why you use high end and electricity.
Yes. So the people them who want praise Rastafari, let them continue praise Rastafari. I am living Rastafari. living
Livity.
Rastafari. Living Rastafari. My livity is Rastafari. I
Yeah,
have no time to praise.
that's great. But you see how I see praising? It's more like I am praising right now, higher and divine. Why? Because I'm raising the power. Raise, raising the power. That's how I see it. Praising for me is not getting on my knees or meditating or no, it's doing the footwork by raising the power of higher and divine, the creator, Jah, the great man or woman behind the creation of the sun, or I
Yes,
don't know if it's a man or woman, but the being behind the creation of the sun and all the celestial bodies up there that have
yes,
achieved their
arise.
soul to higher realm.
Arise from your sleep and slumber.
Yeah.
Arise from the body of Lazarus. Know your vitality to become the I am that I am. That's why I personally, RAS MIDAS is a Rastafari, because I work hard every day to live Rastafari. I don't have to praise Rastafari. I live Rastafari.
I would like to take a little moment just to acknowledge everyone in the chat. The chat is on fire here. I've been looking back and forth to your comments during the interview, the reasoning. There's Will of Earth here. He's asking you something. He says, I know a blonde lady that has dreads and is called racist. Rasmidas, do you have any advice for her?
Who call her a racist?
A blonde lady who has dreadlocks and is called a racist because she is far from racist. She lives natural. If she was racist, then every woman who straightens her hair is a racist. I may be misunderstanding you. First thing I thought of, that's it. He says she is far from racist. She lives natural. So I don't know now. He's kind of saying that she's not racist or something. But to me, being racist is just talking about race. If you involve race, I mean, what can you do for someone like this that constantly see beings as being part of a certain race? That would be more the question directed to you, I think.
Okay, the lady that have her locks, as long as she's living up full and truthful and honest to herself, and she can manifest love to let it shine. Do not listen to the words of what other people are saying. Listen to the words that coming from your vitality. Because if you know you're having your locks for a reason, live up to the best of your ability. I don't listen to the careless words of other people. Because the people them that is discriminating against you, they are the racists.
Yeah. But women also, like Leslie says, women like to change their hair often. Also, that's something with women. They like to change their hair so they can go from dreads 1 week and then they're gonna cut it off or something. But usually, someone that grow dreadlocks, it's a significance. It's significance. If I would grow dreads, but I don't think I'll ever really do it in my life. It's not something that I have on the forefront. Because I don't give attention to what I look on the outside. It's the inside. To me, it's not so much the outside that should shine. The outside will shine naturally if you shine from the inside. I think that's the most part me that I focus on is having a good inside and that I shine this light and yeah, so the air. But anyway, it's not a big deal for me. So Rose Tinted Monac also is in the chat SMC. Thank you very much all for your kind words and you are wonderful, beautiful family, all reasoning with us. And it's only like there's only great energy here. Anyway, we're too positive to attract trolls and negative people. And if they come, they're not gonna stay long because it's very positive. It's not argument and fantasy and stuff. So we will not attract people that love fantasy for sure.
You cannot judge a book by the cover, man.
Yeah, so that also.
Judge a person by, judge a person by their works. Don't judge a person by the locks. Judge them by their works. Because there's many wonderful, beautiful people around the world do not have no locks.
Yeah, exactly. It's not really about like I told you, we have been talking about that, and I told you I think for you it's very natural to grow dreads, like your hair will twist
I,
naturally and
TRU-MON, I don't grow locks. This is my precepts.
precepts. Okay,
It's different.
I don't know too much. I've never
I'm
grown
just
that.
telling you, this is my precepts. I don't join the locks business.
You, it's
I don't,
des gros motons, hein, qu'on appelle. Je pense que c'est des gros motons, des big
yeah,
locks you have
yeah.
là.
Locks is hairstyle.
I've never seen your hair loose là.
Yeah, my
Never
own
seen
is
your
a
hair loose.
precepts. This is part of my spirituality. And I go into the locks business. Locks is style.
Okay, okay.
You see?
Different.
When you're living as a Rastafari, you're not living because of locks. You are living because of the honesty and the spirituality and the reality of love within your life, in which you try to incorporate, to be incorporate with the Creator.
In corpo, you have the corp, which is your car. Car en anglais, on appelle ça,
Yeah,
en
the
français, on
car.
appelle ça le car.
Yes. In other words, you become one with the car in you.
And the car, also, the art in French is car. Car, car, cœur, car, cœur, car. Sounds almost the same, le car. The
Uh,
car.
well, I'm speaking about the Egyptian word, the car.
Yeah.
K-A-H.
Car.
Yeah.
Car.
It's I am that I am that I am. Is the I. Is the itality.
And then you go to earth and art in English, like, yeah. Great,
Yeah.
great stuff.
Yeah. So I really have wonderful time because you hear some of the things now. People caught up in this illusion about dreadlocks. People don't caught up into who the person is that's wearing the locks. So that's why I see my hair never hand down, because I don't have nothing to advertise, because I am not into the dreadlocks business. This is part of my precepts. This is part of my spiritual concept. It means that I am locked up with the I creator in within I. That's why I live the life of Rastafari. I am no Rasta. When you use a Rasta, you don't go half of it. Half Rasta. Anybody can be Rasta.
And we make that word con sound like it's bad or it's a con or con artist or stuff. But if you look at concept, it's not that bad of a bad word. Same like conspiracy. You know, conspiracy means that we're breeding together.
Well, Rastafari changed that word to iceps, you know. So when I say concept, I was only speaking it that the audience and the viewers can have a understanding or understanding what I'm saying. But in the Rastafari quotation, the word is ICEP.
And sept, I make a research the other day on this. Sept is a very significant word because in French it's set. Set, the number 7 is set, S-E-P-T. And sept is C-E-P-T. So it's
Yes.
almost the same. It refers to the number 7. Number 7, very powerful. So the sept, the incept refers to the number 7. You have
The
7 days of the
sector.
week,
The
7
sector. The
sept.
sector.
Yeah,
You know? That's why Haile Selassie is the revealer of the scepter.
that's it.
You see, the way I see Haile Selassie is the carrier of the word, Rastafari. And that word I will use to rebuild myself as a new man with honesty, with love, with dignity, to recognize reality within a liberty of spirituality. So I don't really praise Rastafari. I live Rastafari.
Very good. Great. So, thank you very much, RAS MIDAS. Was a pleasure again to have this great reasoning with you. It's been over 2 hours. I'm gonna liberate you also because I have to be on Byte Radio soon, so I have to set up my thing, do a few stuff before. But
Yes,
what?
it's just few things I want to say. I just want to remind the listeners that on the 22nd of this month, February, I have two disco mix releases, 12-inch vinyl, Good Old Days and Melchizedek coming out on the market. Those are two wonderful songs because it reminds me of the good old days when mankind used to live in unity and there was no black and white and brown and whatsoever. And Melchizedek is the great teacher that teaches the vitality and the energy and the scepter of love. So I and I, as mankind, can come to the consciousness of humanity to know our vitality within ourselves, to live in love and unity and recognize reality in spiritual way. So on the 22nd of February this month, those two vinyl will coming out, 12-inch, especially speaking to all those sound system and DJs on the radio.
Yeah, yeah.
To just remind them.
We will spin that. You know, the record will spin. The earth doesn't spin, but we will spin the record.
Yes, is the cosmic energy of words.
And it's weird, eh? The record is a 33 turn. It's not a coincidence. It's on 33 turn, to number 33. Very,
Yeah,
very.
yes,
You know,
yes, yes.
all these people don't really. I've never really seen it myself. Oh, it's a 33 tour. Oh, never seen it. Like, I see things today that I haven't seen before. Same as the seven seals. You know, they refer to the seven seals for a
In
reason.
the song Melchizedek, I sing about the seven seals that
Yeah,
lies within.
I heard you talking, singing about that.
Yes, yes. So it is in my works. I don't really talk, but it is in my
Yeah,
works.
yeah, yeah. You let your stuff out. Like I said, that's what we have to do. It's let our light shine the way we feel to do it. You, it's in music. Me, it's in speaking. I want to become a great speaker, a great coach, coaching life and stuff. That interests me. I have a great interest in that. Like, if you, it's music. Other people, it's writing books. That's how we're going to illuminate this place with great knowledge and great perspective and greater perception of ourselves, greater perception of who we are and where we are and the people around us and the animals, and greater perception of everything, to have a better, maybe collective perspective on things. Or I think it will get there. The work is ongoing. And like I said the other day, someone was saying there's more light on this plane than darkness, and the light beings of this world will show up and do the work. Well, it's happening. It's happening. We are shining, and we are doing what we can with what we have, where we are, to uplift and to elevate. And that's great. That's very hopeful world. Very
Yes,
hopeful
yes,
world. It's full of hope, full of
yes.
great vibe, full of great people. So thank you very much, Ras
Thank you
Midas,
very
again, and
much.
we will follow the stuff you're putting out there. Like you said,
Yes, yes, yes.
new
And
vinyl, 45 turn. I think it's a 45 now. It's a big one, or
no, is this 12-inch?
12-inch.
Yes, 12-inch vinyl, only in vinyl.
Okay. Can I have a question for you? Me, I would love to hear like something new one day from Ras Midas. Like, are you working on the preparation of new songs or new album, or what is going on in the
I'm, wor-
background? I want to know.
I'm working on those things, but listen, hear what happened. The industry and the consumers want to hear my music from the 70s and 80s. That's what they are interested in right now.
Yes.
Because my music is new to a new generation. And they want to know my music from the 70s and the 80s. And you just have to, but in the meantime, I'm working on preparing new material to record. So don't worry.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but
So
it's what but it's what the consumers request. That's why I have to put out. And
yeah,
I
you
want
go
to
with the
say,
demand.
Give thanks and praise to all the listeners on your program here. And it is very nice that we can have a positive reason. And I want to say to each and every one, there is more positive in this world, more than negative. You just have to seek and you will find. Knock and it shall be open unto you. If you're looking for positive, you will receive. So thank you very much. And I want to give thanks to Nan Lewis of Entertainment Works. And they can contact Nan Lewis at entertainmentworks.biz for any information. Or please join me on Facebook. And in other words, please check me out on rasmidas.com and you might discover something you never know and you might like some things that you will hear and accept and recognize. So thank you very much, Truman, and thank you for the good works.
Oh, it's a pleasure for me, and it's very good to always like enlarge our musical horizon and get in touch with new stuff. If you have never heard RAS Midas, I invite you to really take a good listen to it. He's on Spotify. You can find 4 or 5 albums all on Spotify and on other outlets out there, digital outlets, and
CD
also
baby,
vinyl and stuff. If you research, you can find them for sure.
CD baby,
CD Baby, all this.
Amazon,
Yeah. No,
and
that's great. So it's nice to know that eventually we'll have also new materials. Me, I've listened to all of your albums and everything. I play them also. You have a few songs of yours on my super gold reggae collection that I'm putting out now on Mixcloud and Byte Radio. That's what I've been doing for the last 6, 7 days. I'm on to a gold collection, all my best reggae hits that I've been listening for the last 30 years. So for sure, RAS Midas, as I put my own way in there. You have the song that I really wake up everybody. That's my number one on top. Wake up everybody. If we no, that's great stuff. So no, I invite everyone to get in touch with RAS Midas. Yeah,
no more backward thinking, time for looking ahead. If
yeah,
you're
and
looking
yeah.
for positive, there's more than negative. I know that.
That's it. It's all about positivity. And there, look, if you don't trust what we're saying, that there's more positive than negativity, just look at how many times you have smiled in your life compared to how many times you have cried. The count is easy.
I know the
That's
sun
it.
is shining,
The
the
sun is
moon is
shining
rising,
every day.
the
So
rain is
smile.
falling,
Yeah,
the breath of life you are taking in.
that's
Get
it.
off of the negative and just deal with the positive. And what you must always do, search yourself inside because you'll find how beautiful you is. And when you can let that light shine outside, you will see a lot of positive and beautiful people.
Exactly. Shine the beauty within. Find a place to release your energy. Shine the light you have inside. Release the beauty within you. That's the truth. Me, I want to see the beauty in people. When I see the people shining from the inside, the beauty is resonating. That's the full truth. Anyway, the rest is awareness. It's honesty, responsibleness, and but yeah, there is something that can set you free in this world, definitely. So,
Yes,
large up, Rasmidas, and we see again for
yes,
part 7 eventually, maybe in spring sometime when
yes,
the new year arrive. For us, it's a
yes,
new year
yes.
spring. So
Our new year starts in March, so
we'll
you know,
celebrate that with another reasoning with
we
Rasmidas
celebrate
for the
that.
new year.
Yes, man, arise with upful reasoning.
Woo! That's
Arise
it.
and search yourself, brothers and sisters. Arise and you will find the truth within. You don't have to be a follower.
No, that's it. Rise up, rise and shine. Boom.
Boom.
That's it.
Give
Keep
thanks.
it booming.
Keep it moving. Give thanks, my brother.
Give thanks. We're out.
All
See
right.
ya. Thanks everyone in the chat
Yes, yes,
participating,
yes.
making
Thanks,
this
everyone.
thing
Thanks for
alive.
listening,
Thanks
everyone.
everyone. It's really, you are all very, very important, and we put a lot of value on this. It's just here we focus on our exchange, though, but we're very, very grateful for people watching live and listening and
Yeah.
taking it in. And doesn't mean that everything's gonna fit for you. Take what fit, discard the rest. Like, we're not here to shove anything down your throat. We're just here to reason together. And if
Yes,
it fits
yes.
for you, take it in and digest it and brew it inside, and boom, at one point.
That's where it is.
That's
That's
it.
where it's at.
That's the consistency will come out. Consistency will
Yes.
come from this.
Honesty.
Yeah.
Let your conscience be your guide and your eyesight be your leader. Okay?
That's it. We're
Let your
leaving on this.
eyesight be your leader and
That's
your
it.
conscience be your guide.
That's it. Greatness. Always a pleasure. We're out. See ya. Much love, everyone.
All right. Love and
Nick,
happiness.
aka TRU-MON with RAS MIDAS. Boom.
Yes.
We're out.
Yes.